Here I am, live and in 3D, more or less.
Hey guys, welcome to part 10 and the final part of Let's Play Spider-Man Web of Shadows Amazing Allies Edition for the PS2. Oh, that's the last time I have to say the full title of this game and I'm not going to miss it. So anyway, in the last part we climbed to the top of Kingpin's tower. Yeah, she needs help. We assembled the Sonic device, Sonic generator, Sonic emitter, whatever it's called. But then that fiend Jackal came along and said, haha, now it's mine and I'm going to do something or other. I'm not too sure what Jackal's plans are. I think he's just an evil, weird guy who's just about in a lab coat. I don't quite know. So anyway, now we have to track him down so we can get the Sonic emitter back, so we can turn that on, so we can save all the people of Manhattan, and it is going to be a great time, I predict. So, speaking of a great time, this is not going to be a great time. There's like nothing about this level that screams the final level of a game. It's not a level that's about build-up, there's nothing new that's kind of thrown at you, there's nothing kind of interesting that happens. Of course we got the final boss fight at the end of this, sorry for the spoilers there, but apart from that, there's like nothing here. We're in a park. So Spider-Man just like goes to a park, and then he kind of figures that's where Jackal is. I think Spider-Man just kind of chases after him. I'm not too sure, because at the end of the last part, Spencer Smythe was all like, here's Black Cat to fight. Then when you do that, I guess Spider-Man's like, my spider senses says I should go to the park, because that would be fun. Spider-Man likes the swings. So that was the pun for the episode. I hope everyone enjoyed it, because that's going to be the last one of those for this one. But anyway, so this is the final level. Does not feel like it at all. And most of this level is just going right. So far in this game, I've complained about it, said it's dull, says it doesn't really do that much interesting and boring, but at least you kind of went up, you went down, you went around. At least there was kind of a sense that you weren't going in one straight linear path when you always are. You know, I don't mind a game being linear. And of course with these sort of games you expect it to try and mask the fact that it's linear by making you go through all these different sort of paths. And this game has done that. But you would kind of expect a game to do that, which is why I haven't really praised it for that, because that's just kind of a standard. But this level throws all that out the window and you're just going right. That's all we've done so far. There is something a bit different that we're going to see, but not that much different, not that much interesting. It's just going right. And I don't know why they would do that. I don't know. I guess they just gave up. I don't want to insult the people too much who made this game. You know, obviously, they probably knew what it was. It was just like a throwaway PS2 Spider-Man game. They probably didn't have much time or resources to make it, so they made the best of what they did. I never like to assume that developers are lazy or whatever, or they just didn't care, because most of the time they do. It's just, you know, on certain projects, they are what they are, and that's just the way it goes. That's just what happens. I mean, I'm not a developer, but that's the general sense that I get. And I think with this game that was the case. Like, it was what it was, and there we go. I mean, the DS version was a lot better, though, so they don't really have that excuse when it comes to it. Is that beeping? Why does there have to be beeping? There's beeping outside my house. This was supposed to be the big finale, and there was beeping. I guess that's kind of appropriate for this game. Any other game where it's like the ending level, a big moment, I would be more annoyed. But with this one, it's like, if there's beeping in it, so be it. There's nothing interesting going on. So yeah, so anyway, a lot of this level is just straight up punch all the enemies, destroy the pods. We've seen it time and time again, and there's nothing different in this level. Apart from the fact that there's a lot more of them. There's just more symbiotes to fight. So I decided to use all my summons, because we won't need them for the final boss. So you might as well, if you got any summons left that you haven't used, you might as well use them now. Because, yeah, they're not useful at this point. This is the last time you can use them, and they will actually do something. Because all you're doing is punching symbiotes, so anything you can do to speed up that process I find is definitely worth doing. Okay, so during this level there are still quests, and these are all mandatory quests. You can't skip them.
I guess.
Yeah, gross. Yeah, you can't skip them. You have to do them at this point. And I guess because the level just goes right, that's probably why. They're like, we can't literally have the player just going right. We should probably throw in a couple of people for Spider-Man to talk to and do quests. But the first quest we had to do was save the woman who's like, my boyfriend went into the park. Can you please help me leave? So she's a bitch. Like, that's not cool. Like, it's the right thing to do to just leave when there's an alien invasion. But the fact that she's like, yeah, my boyfriend left, he's probably being eaten, that sucks. But it would suck even more if we both died. So Spider-Man, can he help me out? Which means that you just have to beat up a load of enemies twice. That's all that meant. And then this guy wants you to find his like secret stash, which involves just beating up enemies. Like that, it's not really a quest if you're literally doing the same thing for every single one. Like, it's literally the same thing. Well, it's not literally the same thing. Literally, it's not literally, but you know what I mean. All you're doing this whole time is just beating up enemies, destroying the pods, and then you just go back and talk to the person. Only for the woman, it's a case of her just leaving. For this one, you find a Spider-Man like lunchbox. I don't quite know. It's this whole theme in this game that we've seen a lot, and I've like praised it in some way where the writing.
I guess I'm an idiot too, I guess.
Yeah, I've praised it in some ways and also like slagged it off, because consistently throughout this game you meet weirdos who want you to do weird tasks, and it's consistent throughout. It's not just the beginning of the game you meet some weirdos, you do some odd tasks, it's all a good time. It's consistent. Like, there's this whole story going on, but the game in every single level throws oddballs at you, just these weird people with these weird tasks, and that's part of the reason why this does not feel like a final level, because you spend so much time just helping out random people with next to nothing task. I mean, Spider-Man even jokes about it. He's like, hey, you want me to do this in the middle of an alien invasion? Are you crazy? And it's not funny when it's outright true. Like, it's not funny for Spider-Man to say that when he's helped out a ton of different people. Also very appropriate. Another car alarm. Oh, it was like it was meant to be.
That should do it.
Another car alarm. That is amazing and fun. Usually I would like start this all again, but whatever, who cares, right? It's just Spider-Man Web of Shadows Amazing Allies Edition for the PS2. Damn it, I said it once more.
Hey, Spidey, wanna go dig around?
Right, anyway, so as I was saying, yeah, it's just weird. Like, it's just, it stops being funny when it's the same joke all the time, which is random people make Spider-Man do an odd task. And this is a very short game. Like, this is part 10 and it's the final part. And the joke wears thin by this point. But here's what I meant by something a bit different. So, that's the boyfriend.
Well, someone will be happy that I finally found this thing.
Yeah, and the whole thing apparently is that the woman was saying that she was like, oh, I want the boyfriend, or my boyfriend insisted we come to the park, and then aliens happen, so I'm off. And then you find the boyfriend, and the boyfriend's like, hey, can you help find this ring for me? So it was a marriage proposal in the middle of an alien invasion. Like, okay, alright. I don't know why they felt the need to have this subplot in this level. It's the final level! That's what I don't get, it's the final level! It's meant to be big, there's meant to be like, I'm gonna stop the symbiotes, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be a big moment, but it's none of those things. And it's bizarre. And these two models are the same. Like, that guy was the same as the middle guy. They didn't even try in that department. I don't know why I'm getting worked up about this. I know what this game is at this point. You watching this should also know what this game is at this point. You've seen enough footage, you've heard me complain enough. We all know that this is just a weird game that doesn't make any sense. But oh, look who it is.
Jackal.
No, that's all you need. No. They were like, okay, we need some dialogue between Spider-Man and Jackal, because Jackal finally tracked him down. And the guy who did Spider-Man was like, I could just say Jackal. Not, what, like in a menacing way, in an intimidating way, and they're like, oh, you've done bad, I'm gonna finally get you. No, I'll just go Jackal. And they were like, yeah, that sounds good. Anyway, he's just a normal enemy, essentially. No real trick to this at all.
Spidey's office, how may I direct your call?
Okay, so we have beaten up Jackal, who was even easier than the last time, which I kind of like. I think that's pretty nice, that they didn't make him like a super like, I've been infected with the symbiote, so now he's a big boss fight. I'm glad they didn't do that, but it is quite silly how ridiculously easy it is to beat him up, making his role in this story almost feel a little pointless, a bit like everything else.
Nuts. We are all powerful!
Okay, so that's Venom. I'm not too sure. Yeah, that has to be Venom, because the whole thing that this game's been hinting at is that all the symbiotes are Venom. So that over there, I don't think it's completely Venom, but it's the largest mass of consciousness of Venom. I don't know, it's never explained. I think I'm just overthinking it. You know what? That's Venom. That's all I'm going to say. So now we have the choice. You can either try and disable... Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, you can either try and destroy Venom, or you can try and take him over. Or destroy the symbiotes to save everyone, or try and take over the symbiotes for yourself. From what I've read on Wikipedia, and I can't say that this is definitely true, is that apparently all your choices up to this point means that this choice is pretty much decided for you. I can't say that's definitely true, but that sounds right. But you do still seem to get the choice between, like, those text boxes seem like you can still make the bad choice even if you've been good up to this point. So I couldn't say for sure, but that does sound kind of right. And oh, this noise is horrible. Oh god, that's just terrible to listen to. So yeah, here we go, the final boss. Oh boy, this is a fun one. So, this is set on a 2D plane, like the rest of the game, but they mix things up by making it, you can spin around. So the whole boss fight, I'm going to break it down right now, is you spin round. After a certain amount of time, you then go into a locked 2D view where you destroy these pods. Once you destroy all the pods, you win. And that's what we're going to be doing for the next 7 or 8 minutes. It takes so long. It's like 9 minutes long, this boss fight, because there are 12. I think there's 12. I might be wrong. I don't honestly care. I'm pretty sure there's 12. There are 12 pods to destroy, and they're just as powerful as they are than like any other pod. They're the exact same strength, and it takes the exact same to beat them up, and you only have a limited amount of time where you can attack them, and it's just really dull. Like, it's just really dull. Who told the people who made this game that beating up pods, beating up inanimate pods that are just alien, fleshy, weird things, who said that that was fun? I don't know who gave them this information, gave them this sort of idea that people just want to beat up on alien pods, but it's extremely not fun. Like, I don't know why, like this whole level, the whole few levels we've been playing, it's all just been beating up pods, and it's just so tiring, it's so boring, it just kind of gets to you after a while. And the fact that the final boss came down to this is just like, ugh. Just like, ugh. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, with the summons, you can't use them because the summons don't work on the pods. So you can't even just build up all your summons and spam them to destroy this boss quicker. It just doesn't work like that. The pods are as strong as they are, and the summons don't do anything towards that. So I tried using super strength, because one of the powers that you can have, one of the power-ups is spectacular strength, but it's a little quicker. I think it's a little quicker to do this, but not by that much. But you know what, a little quicker, I'll take it. I'll take any time that can be saved on this boss fight, because it's just overly long and just dull and not very imaginative at all. I think even the visual style isn't that nice. It just doesn't look that good. Really, it's just a big fleshy Venom goo thing. And the noises! I'm really sorry about this. I'm having a hard time hearing this thing. When I was playing this boss, I didn't really listen to the sound. I didn't realise it was quite this horrible. So, at this point I kind of gave up a little. Because, like I said in the last part, I have fully leveled up Spider-Man. And one of the things you can level up is how much damage you can take. So you can level up your health bar, but you can also level up how much damage you can take at the same time. So I have them both on max level, so I realised that Venom doesn't really do that much damage to you when you're fully level up, and it's only a specific amount of time that you're in this mode where he will attack you, so you don't have to move. Because every time you destroy a pod, and you're guaranteed to destroy a pod once you go into the 2D view, you always get health. And it seems to be the balance is Venom will do a certain amount of health, like damage to you, and you'll always get that health back with the pods. So my advice for this boss is you don't have to bother avoiding them, like that's a complete waste of time. But you try and get as many like strength power-ups as you can. Don't bother having any of your summons because they're just not useful here. I only had them to kind of show them off during the level because this is the final part, so I have no other time to show them off. But just get anything that increase your strength. You don't need health, you don't need invincibility, you don't need the summons, you don't need anything like that. Just any sort of power up that will make you stronger and make your attacks hit harder. Those are pretty much the only useful thing here. There might be some other stuff that is useful in the power-ups list, but I'm not going through and checking all of that because that would just be boring and sit worried. I'm just done with this game. This is the final part. I've already recorded it. I'm not playing it again. So that's the end of that. So I'm not going to double check that. Because this is just like, it's so easy. It's so easy. Because you know what this means, right? This means that the very first boss of the game was the hardest one. The very first time you go up against Venom one-on-one where you don't have your power-ups or anything and you're new to the game, that is the hardest boss in the whole game. And the bosses get easier as you go, because they just kind of gave up halfway through. Bosses were, you know, they did have unique tactics, they could be quite hard. Most of them was hard, they were hard for the wrong reasons, but they were still difficult. But now we're at the point where we're fully level up, and most of the bosses we've seen in the last few parts have just been normal people that you can just go punch a lot, and that's that. Like, they've been very simple boss fights. And then this one's even more simple because you don't even have to move. Like he does, I guess Venom does try to actively attack you, but not really. He just kind of flails about. And like I've talked over a lot of his dialogue, but the Venom voice actor, it's just awful. Just awful. The voice acting has been not great in this game, but not awful. But the Venom one is just bad. We have become all powerful. Hold on.
We are whole again.
Okay, cool. That does not sound like Venom. It just sounds like a bloke. It would have taken them like 10 seconds to add some sort of a filter over the top of Venom's voice to make him sound like Venom or just some sort of alien. But instead we get all these horrible screeching noises, and then we just get, there's no mouth. There's no mouth at all. They're just these floating heads that, yes, do have mouths, but you don't expect just a normal human voice to come from one of those mouths, so I have no clue where this voice is coming from. Oh no, I guess it's coming from the sonic emitter, because the whole thing is that the sonic emitter or generator is stunning Venom, but I don't think it's meant to be coming from that, so it's just weird. They just didn't they didn't think to kind of put some sort of voice on him. And if you're quick, you can do this fight quicker than I did, but I just found, like, because beating up the pods is really awkward. It's possible to destroy 2 pods in a row, but sometimes you just kind of run out of time, because it is quite strict with the time limit. But it's not annoying when you run out of time, it just means, oh, now I have to wait another like 30 seconds or whatever to be able to destroy the next pod. And the fact that there's 12, I've already gone over it. You guys can see that this is a bad final boss, but what's going to happen in a bit, it's going to make your day. Or it made my day when I saw it. Anyway, so here we go. The last pod, and hooray! Yay! We won! They didn't. I expected a lot from this game in terms of being bad. I did not expect that there wouldn't be an ending. There is no ending to the game. You've finished the boss and it comes up with a text box saying congratulations, and then it says congratulations, you saved Manhattan, and that's it. And then it just boots you to the main menu. That is gold. That is absolute gold. Like, I don't think I've ever played a game that has not ended. I think this might be the first game that I've played that doesn't have an ending, which is beautiful in its just unfinished laziness. Again, I don't want to call anyone lazy, but here we go, here's the people to blame. You're all to blame. I hope you're happy with yourself. I hope you feel real proud or whatever. But oh god, what an absolute delight. So yes, that was Spider-Man Web of Shadows Amazing Allies Edition for the PS2. I was thinking about doing a bonus part, but there's really no point, because if you beat... I'll spoil it now. If you make all the dark choices and pick the dark ending, instead of getting that box, you get that box, but it says congratulations, you have enslaved Manhattan. And that's it. The PSP version does have a few minor differences, so that's the only reason why I would do a bonus video on this, but they're minor. Like on the PSP version it says you can now play New Game Plus, or you can play New Plus. Not New Plus, Game Plus. So yes, if I selected New Game, or I loaded up my old save, it would start me from the beginning of the game, but I would have all my experience and power-ups and everything like that, so that's nice. I don't know, I mean, I think it was a bit optimistic of them to think someone would replay this game because they enjoyed it so much. But yes, that's it from me. I actually have to select the credits from the main menu to show them. The game didn't automatically show these, but I don't know, I think I've had a good time. This game went, like, it just kept flipping between being really, really dull to being really, really enjoyably stupid. So I don't know, it's been a fun one. So the next game I'll do in the Spider-Man series won't be Web of Shadows for once, so look forward to that. So I've been HonestTom23, thank you for sticking with me, and sticking with Amaze Entertainment as they took you on this crazy ride. Once again, HonestTom23, and I will see you for the next Spider-Man LP, which should be something better than this. No promises on that though.